Yeah. Let me drop exclusive game from my exclusive mind. You be out here chasing fame, I stay steady on my grind. Zero diamonds, zero.
Thank you for tapping into the Exclusive Minds podcast. Today we're going to be having an exclusive conversation with exclusive content from Exclusive Minds. I'm your host, Rook, and
Joe.
Let's get right into it.
Yo. We are back for episode 27.
Jeez.
And we are coming off our worst episode ever, according to me.
It was all right.
It was all right. I listened back to it and I was like, okay, it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit of rambling, but it wasn't too bad.
I mean, it's our podcast. We get to decide what we talk about. So F everyone else that doesn't think so, right?
Well, that's not the way life works. You can't just F everybody off. Or
For me, it does. I'm just kidding. No, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Absolutely.
Probably not Mother's Day when you're listening to this, but happy Mother's Day regardless.
It might be, because I might be able to get it up tonight.
Okay, sure. I mean, it's up to you, man.
I'm a rock star now when it comes to editing podcasts.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Cut and paste, baby. Cut and paste. That's all it is. So, anyway. So, happy Mother's Day. That's shout out to everybody. Everybody's mother.
Yep.
And, okay. So, where do we start here? I guess we should kind of do a roundup on the clothes, right? So, we dropped.
Let's do that.
When did we drop? Did we drop last week?
We dropped on the 6th, which was Friday at like noon, because we were
which was like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
oh my
God.
literally.
It went really well. I was happy with the results. Everyone that got them early or / what we had in hand that met up with me, they really, really enjoyed the quality of the clothes. They said, and this is no cap, and that means not BS. They said that it's their favorite pair of sweatpants and sweatshirt.
Cool.
Yeah, they said it's competing with Nike, so we're doing something.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can tell the quality is so much better just on the hoodies. But,
absolutely.
I guess I'll pick up a pair of the sweatpants in the next batch. I didn't grab one.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, and on top of that, like I was kind of just talking to someone, and we were just talking, and we were like, for the price, it's not that bad, right? Because we're doing a $110 sweatsuit, so basically you get the bottoms and the top. When Nike, I know I'm going back to them, but they have pants alone that are going for $110, and then to get the top, it's $150. So all in, you're at $260.
Yeah.
And then for Essentials, which is, I guess, the competitor to Yeezy, which is like Fear of God, their like bottoms are $90, and then their tops are $90. So all in for that, if you get it at retail price, it's like what, $180?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any arguments that. You're paying some marketing hype on, Nike, Adidas, all of those.
Yeah,
so
right.
we have that advantage, right? We're not there yet. Maybe someday we'll be able to gouge, get that extra $10, $20 for marketing spin hype.
Right. No, but I was really impressed, man. It was good. I think this is kind of like our new standard of stuff we talked about. So
Yeah.
really
No, I think that's for sure. And then we've got some tees coming from the same.
We do got some tees.
Vendor, which so up our game a little bit even on the tees. So those will be coming soon. Just to kind of give everybody an update, right? So we dropped a ash gray hoodie and sweatpants, and then a black hoodie and sweatpants, and I believe all the sweatpants were sold out.
No, for a fact they are.
Yeah, so we are taking back orders on those. So if you still have a chance, I figure Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. We're going to put in another round for those because I think we can turn those fairly quick. Being
that everything
probably
goes
a couple weeks, in this time frame, but at least we know we can get those. So, and we didn't order a lot of those originally, so that's the reason why they kind of sold out almost instantly. So, if you are still interested in those, make sure you get up and put an order in, and we'll get those added to this next batch. Hoodies are a little bit different. We didn't accept back orders, but if you want one of the hoodies and they are now sold out, just send us an email at team@exmnds.com, and we'll either let you know as soon as we can get those, or I think in the case of a couple of sizes, we might be able to actually add those into this next batch. So there's a chance you could get it in a couple weeks. But just shoot us an email, and we'll get you added to the list if there's any interest in a hoodie and you couldn't get one. I think right now those are all sold out except for...
I think like XLs.
Yeah, right? A black XL.
Well, I think we messed up by ordering too many XLs in the first place. So.
I think I don't know how many we ordered. But so I mean,
like
there's like a couple of those. And That's it. So again, if you missed out on any of this stuff, either for Sweatpants, place the order, or hoodies, shoot us an email and we'll see what we can do for you. But we're going to close the hoodies and the sweatpants out because obviously the weather is turning to the warm. Or at least I thought it was, but this freaking weather's been awful.
I know. And I know some people were saying, like, you guys should, reload on them because we wear sweatpants all year round. And I didn't know that was the case. I didn't think people were going to be buying sweatpants and sweatshirts and everything in, May now? So I didn't think it was a thing, but people, if people want it, maybe that's something we'll do.
Hoodies are pretty heavy, though, so.
Kind of giving people some transparency. I mean, we did this just because we wanted to test the material, and also now we got some great momentum going into our next drop, which is exactly kind of like why we did it. Like, that's kind of like the back end, bottom line business play there is just we needed some momentum going forward. We haven't put stuff out, and we kind of on the podcast be as transparent as possible, and that's just how that is. So, when these shorts and t-shirts come in, we have t-shirts that we always forget about. Joe hasn't even seen the damn things yet. Yeah. So when they come in and everything's good to go,
when I turn over the business to you for a day. It's like
so when those come in and when those the timing's right, we're gonna be putting out. I think it's like 3 t-shirts, I think, and a nice mesh shorts with a couple different colorways. We're just really waiting on the what do you call that, restock or re-up on those as well. So everything's going to be coming out, and we're going to try to come up with a good schedule. This was our take at a what do you call that, what is it? Mental Health Awareness Month. That was the message attached with that. So we're definitely going to try to include that, include more stuff with that, because that is such a big topic nowadays. I mean, everyone kind of has their own battles and everything like that. So we'll definitely include it. I mean, it's people like it, so why not? But yeah, I think that was all for the clothing side of things. Is there anything that I'm missing with that?
No. I mean, hopefully it won't take as long for us to get this next round out. But no, I think that kind of sums it up.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it's everything's up and active, and we'll just keep moving forward. But yeah, I think we're in a good place now, at least with
customer retention and everyone kind of having the eyes on us now.
Yep.
Especially with that. I mean, that definitely brought a lot of people to seeing it.
Yeah. And we actually incorporated a video into the homepage,
website,
which I didn't even know we could do until I tried it. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
And a timer, we could do a timer now.
We have a countdown timer or some other things that I guess they must have added to the templates. And so, look for some updates on the website. But if you go to the homepage, exmnds.com, there's kind of a cool video that shows the hoodie. That I took, you can tell it's handheld, but still
it
looks
good.
Yeah.
It looked good.
It's whatever.
A buddy of mine was like, because he saw our webpage, and my friend Mike, he was like, can you guys display videos on there? And I was like, yeah, like check it out, whatever. And he was like, dude, we should get a video of like someone wearing the shirts, and while I do like a donut in my car, and that could just be on loop while they're like on the webpage. And I was like, that'd be pretty sick. Like maybe have it in the background or something.
It would until he runs someone over, and we have to.
Yeah, whatever. It's all part of the asset liability budget. It's all good.
Legal fees. We don't have a very big legal budget fee, so let's not kill anybody.
Okay. What happened recently? Let me think here. I feel like we actually have more topics than we did last time. First, I guess like the fight we talked about briefly at brunch/lunch.
I get all the fights mixed up. The Canelo fight or the both
of them were
UFC fights.
So the Canelo fight was the boxing match. Canelo lost, unfortunately, but apparently, like I don't really watch that much boxing. But apparently, like he lost pretty badly. I hear. And Mikey was saying, what was he saying? He said that the scorecards had him only winning like 1 round or 3 rounds or something like that.
I didn't catch the full thing, but I mean there was a huge blow up because apparently the judges almost had it as an even fight going into the 12th, and most people said that Canelo lost at least 9 of the.
That's what I hear.
9 of the 11 rounds or whatever, and he was handily getting his ass whooped, and it was, and the scorecards was super close, and people were just like, "What the hell are these people watching?" Yeah. And it was a real blow up. Even though he won, I guess they still were like, "This, shouldn't have even been as close as it was in the judges' scorecards," and there was. an uproar on changing the way you judge. And I'm like, as long as you always have humans doing it, I guess you're always going to have some issues and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those things where you could watch it and clearly see what happened, because that's what it kind of seemed like to me. But then the scorecards were like kind of maybe exaggerated. I really truthfully didn't watch the whole thing to even be able to give it a good opinion on that.
Any of the sports where you bring human judging in is just always going to have issues. I mean, that's the nice thing about, most major league sports, right? You know who won. I mean, there might be an issue every once in a blue moon with some call, but at least the outcome is like, okay, someone won 2-1 or 3-0 or whatever, right?
I feel like that's the beauty of football, in my opinion, because when you have those crazy catches or those crazy plays, for example, that are like, did he get 2 feet in before he stepped out or something like that? It's kind of clear cut what happens. And even if it's not clear cut, there's an ultimate decision that everyone's on page with after the plays happened. Yeah. If that makes sense,
Yep.
Whereas like after the fact, what are they supposed to do? Go back and fight it out again? Like, no, you just it's kind of after the fact. And I don't know, it kind of takes people out of it. That's neither here nor there. But Mikey, going back to that conversation, he's, I don't know, what do you call that, Gen Z? So he's been following a lot with like the Jake Paul stuff, and he was telling me that he called out Canelo after he lost. I don't think he's quite there yet.
Well, I think he said he wanted to fight him in 3 years or something like that. The guy's already, on the downslope of his career. I hate to say it, but I honestly, and he's like, I'll fight you in 3 years and whoop your ass. And I'm like, okay, so you want to wait until he's like,
So this is where we beg to differ. I honestly think he's a smart ass dude, fighter and businessman.
Canelo or
Jake Paul?
Okay, yeah.
So who's are you talking about? It's on the downslope of their career, Jake Paul or Canelo? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say. I was going to say. I thought you were talking about Jake Paul. I was like, he's really smart on what he's calculated.
No.
So Mikey, like I said, Gen Z kid. He followed Jake Paul from like a long time, and he's always been telling me telling me everything. And I've been slowly starting to pay more attention to him and really digging into his whole thing, but. We had the conversation, and I feel like this is with a lot of people when they look at him.
I'm sorry. So, I don't know where you're going with this, but if you're going to tell me that you think he's a real fighter and he could legitimately step into the ring with some of these world-class fighters, there's not a chance in hell. So I've watched the fights.
All right. So let me
tell you.
Let me tell you where this is going.
Hell.
Right. So for one, he has the knockout power. We've seen him knock out.
Okay, but
clearly, the last one with
he knocked
Woodley.
out another guy who's, come on.
So here we go, right? Take Jake Paul out of the equation. Let's say it's Noah or someone, right? Noah's 18 years old and he's fighting Jake Paul, but he doesn't have the Jake Paul name attached to him, right? He knocks him out. A world-class fighter like Tyron Woodley, everyone's looking at him like this up-and-coming fighter just knocked out a world-class UFC fighter. So now you have to kind of disassociate who Jake Paul is as a YouTuber versus who Jake Paul is as a boxer, right?
Look,
he's on the come up.
Yeah, I'm not, it takes something to step into the ring with some of these people, but I'm telling you, man, I watched that last fight, and even though he knocked Woodley out, I'm telling you, it was a crap-ass fight, and a world-class boxer would have just lit him up like a Christmas tree.
Do you think Tommy Fury's a world-class fighter?
Yeah, honestly, I would have loved to have seen that fight, because I think that, at the end of the day, I think that would have kind of probably been more of a test of his ability to actually be a true boxer. Because at the end of the day, right, Tommy Fury is a boxer, right? He's a traditional boxer, and yeah, that would have been a better fight.
I agree. I think so too.
If he beat his ass, then I would probably change my tune a little bit. But I question whether he could even beat Tommy Fury. I think he might have lucked out with that whole thing blowing up.
The fact that he was willing to get in the ring with him, he has to have some madness behind what he's doing, method to his madness, rather. But we have to consider that this is his 6th fight or 5th fight, whatever it is, and he's fighting against people who have fighting experience or at least fighting background. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I think that he knows what he's doing. I'll put it that way. Look, and he did the stuff with the. He's a grinder at the end of the day. He did the stuff with what's that girl's name? You know who I'm talking about by any chance? Promoting that girl's fight. That
Amanda Serrano.
Serrano, exactly.
Well, I mean, he's
Precisely.
really done her right. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah,
So
she even said this last fight, she made more money in this last fight than
In
she
one
made in
fight.
her entire career
exactly
combined. So
And
I mean,
he's sold out-
he's definitely done it right. So.
And he sold out. They sold out.
Look, I mean, business wise, I mean, there's not a person on this
Yeah.
planet who's going to have the balls to stand up and
Right.
say he sucks as a business person.
Yeah.
No. Let's separate the two, right? I'm
Yeah.
talking boxing skills.
Boxing skills. I think he has time to develop.
Well, until he fights like a legitimate, like
Pro
true
boxer,
boxer,
sure.
we'll never really know, and we'll have these comments, and that's probably part of the hype, right? Is that it creates this conversation point, and everybody is constantly on the internet talking about him, right? So that's the real magic behind him. But I don't know. I've seen the fights, and look.
Yeah.
I think
you
that
think
a
there's
real
more-
fighter
think-
would really give him a run for his money.
I guess until that point comes, then we're going to see it. I mean, he has something scheduled in August. I think KSI does as well, and so does Logan.
Who's he fighting in August?
Not announced yet. It just said he was just fighting in August.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. What did you?
The other problem is if he loses, he's done. I mean, it's almost like this guy's gotten to the point where.
So that's the thing. Like I said, he's only had 6 fights.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
he's it's if someone beats him,
Let's just
it's
say-
kind of like it's over.
Let's just say, for boxing's sake, let's hope he doesn't lose. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's a huge name in the industry right now, and if he's lost interest in that, who do they got left, right?
Oh, I tell you what, if Tyson Fury does really truly retire, man, it's going to be like a wasteland.
So I can give you my theory on that. Sticking with Tyson Fury, what do you think about the like hybrid fights that they're kind of trying to do? I think that's bullshit, bro. Like I think that
No, you mean him fighting
Francis Ngannou or whatever his last name is.
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, that just strikes me as more of a money grab, and
Right.
I'm like,
No, and
does he really need the money?
I hope he
mean,
does it for Francis's sake, because from what I hear from like everyone around me is Dana White kind of shafts the UFC fighters in terms of pay.
Pay-wise, yeah.
So I hope he does get that fight, but from a I guess a human's point of view, I hope that he doesn't get in the ring with Tyson in a boxing setting, because it's not going to be good.
No, probably not.
But I don't know how that works for hybrid. I mean, like, what are they going to be able to do? Like, it's like if it's leaning more towards the MMA stuff, it's going to be a clear Francis win. If they lean more towards the boxing, it's going to be a clear.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's a
Two
UFC
experts.
fight, they're going to go right into a grappling match, and it's
Exactly.
over, right? Because I mean,
Exactly.
Tyson's probably got no grappling skills at all.
Exactly. So
And once you're on the ground, boxing doesn't mean shit.
I think what they should do, what would be cool, is if they did like one and then see who kind of gets the closest as far as like the betting person's thing.
I don't know how that could work, because I mean, at the end of the day, right, all the UFC guys have basically trained their entire lives in both
Exactly.
disciplines, right? So
Exactly.
they can do stand-up and they can do grappling, where a boxer's really never,
Predominantly-
ever spend a minute
Yeah.
grappling. And if you do any grappling, you realize that it only takes seconds to get tapped out if you don't know what
Bro,
you're doing.
I was doing grappling against my friend Michael this past week, and we were just doing it as like a spar, and he's like a jiu-jitsu guy, and I never really got into like
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu training.
until you
Never.
do it, you have no
So
idea how
we were rumbling, or whatever you want to call it, and by the second to third round, bro, I'm gassed. I mean, like, he's experiencing that too.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. We were doing like, I think it was like I don't even know. It was like 3 or 4, maybe 5-minute rounds, and bro, you get like effing gassed, bro. We were sitting there like second round.
Well,
we're like,
not even that. I mean, if there's a skill level difference, I mean, any of these guys who have trained that have blue belts or more,
forget about
you
it. Right?
just, I mean, you have no idea how fast these guys could break your arm or your
Exactly.
leg. I mean, you just,
So-
until you're in that environment, you have no idea the skill these guys have
Exactly.
and how easy it is for these guys to, it doesn't matter how big you are.
exactly
They'll,
right.
they'll either choke you out or they'll break something in seconds. It's just, it's sick.
So
how good it
in his defense, we weren't going for like limbs, like we weren't going for like arms or,
Right. Well, yeah.
feet. We were going more for like chokeouts. That's kind of what we were doing. And he's smaller than me. I mean, he's the same weight, but like 5'7", 5'6". So he's smaller than me, but like we were going the distance, bro. And I was like, damn, this is like pretty impressive. I might need to train or something.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun, but you have to. Yeah, it changes. You're humble quickly.
Exactly.
I mean,
for
because
sure.
this is the same. There's always someone better than you in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a humbling experience, especially if you get choked out, right?
Yeah.
And
No
it's
And you have to use your weight to kind of like gas
it
the other
is-
person out as well. Like your weight, like if you're on top of the other person, you might not even necessarily be winning, but you're
you're
tiring the
tiring
other
them out.
person.
Yeah, you're
right? So
putting your elbow into their neck or just
Something like that,
or their
right.
chest, and
it's crazy.
you're just you're grinding bone on bone just to kind of wear the dude out. And it's jiu-jitsu is something else. I mean, just fabulous.
But yeah, back to what you were saying. So Tyson Fury, he said he was going to retire. I think he's going to retire, do that hybrid style thing.
Well,
and then maybe
if
come
anything,
back,
I could see him doing the WWE thing only because that's probably easy money, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I would imagine so. And it is like physically demanding, but I don't think like you necessarily have that worry of like, this guy's out here trying to knock my head off. You know what I mean? It's more of like a show facade. Like you're going out there to entertain.
he could make a couple guest appearances on the WWE and probably make more money than he would if he did one of these hybrid fights. And I don't see that happening. I mean, I know it was kind of talked about, and he did it even in the ring live, but I don't know. As soon as you bring the grappling in, it's a game changer, and I think the UFC guys will win every time.
No, for sure. How about the UFC thing? I saw the clip. He got kicked in the head. You were watching
Tony Ferguson got his chin rearranged.
Yeah, what happened?
I can't believe that his chin stayed on his wasn't dislocated.
So
or
I only saw the pictures.
Shattered, or he just got front kicked right in the chin. I mean,
was it a like a fair fight?
You saw the slow mo thing. Yeah.
It was like a good fight throughout the whole thing.
He just caught him with a front kick.
Okay. And then who was the fighter that? I don't think it was him. That weighed 0.5 pounds over.
Oh, that was the Oliveria. Yeah, he came in at 155.5, and he had to be under 155. And I guess the rule is if you're
even over a little bit,
if you miss a weight for a championship fight, you lose your belt.
You suspend your belt, right? And that's
like, ooh, that hurt.
Yeah, and that's now,
like eating. I mean, half a pound. I mean,
yeah.
And the amazing thing is they gave him once you fail, he gets an hour to try and get that half pound off. And I'm like, jump on a Peloton for 30 minutes and do
you couldn't do it in a half an hour.
Apparently not. I'm like,
I would imagine the crazy amount of training that goes into that.
Yeah, I mean, it is possible those guys are so conditioned that even in 30 minutes they can't get their conditioning high enough to actually start losing weight.
Yeah.
Where you and I, right, 10 seconds into a bike ride, we're sweating our balls off and lose that half pound in no time.
Exactly.
But that was kind of interesting.
No,
he ended up winning that fight. But,
did he? So does that mean? I mean, do you know if he?
He is now the number one contender for the belt he had.
That he had, right.
Right.
So
And
does
I
that just
don't
go to
know
the next
who-
person, or is it just
I
like
don't
an escrow type
know.
deal? Like it's just for the people to fight for it together?
I don't know how that works in the UFC. I'm assuming they just assign it to whoever the number one contender was at the time. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I don't know. My favorite fighter from the UFC's Israel Adesanya. That's my guy. I follow him on everything. He's a great kickboxer, and I like his personality.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, let's face facts. UFC is much better than just traditional boxing, but
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I mean, from an entertainment perspective. But yeah, I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And then I guess the other big sporting news was the Kentucky Derby, right? The 80-1 long shot.
Oh yeah. So what was I heard you and Mikey talking about that. I don't follow the Kentucky Derby all frequent like that.
Yeah, so there's 20 horses in the Kentucky Derby, right? So it's a big field. It's funny. I was there on Wednesday. Or I was at Churchill Downs on Thursday they have this thing called the Thurby, which is basically horse racing on the Thursday before the Kentucky Derby. So I was at the Kentucky Derby, just not the Kentucky Derby, right?
Okay.
But normally those fields are like anywhere between like 8 and maybe 10 horses is a huge field for any of the satellite races. But in the Kentucky Derby, they have 20 horses. And so this horse wasn't even in the field, wasn't in the race until Friday when one of the horses scratched. I guess they pulled him out for whatever reason. And then he got in like at the very last minute and was an 80-1 long shot. And
what does that mean? Sorry.
So the higher the
it's like 180% chance that he would win, basically.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So if you bet $1, you win $80.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. So
and he won?
He won, yeah.
No way.
And it was really impressive, actually. I mean, the horse had a jet engine that just kicked in at the very end and just outran everybody.
Didn't you say that there was a chance that he was like on steroids or something?
No, that was somebody else. I mean, just like every sport in the world today, man, they drug test horses like crazy now. They busted that guy last year for doping a horse, and so it's almost impossible to get away with that shit anymore. So no, what I said was if you watched post race,
He was like licking.
normally there's these other horses that kind of come and just sort of, they're kind of like the attendants, right? The attendant horses that just sort of help you navigate you into the winner's circle and stuff like that. And this horse, the horse that won, was like biting the other horse and just really agitated and high strung. So you could tell like the horse was just
maybe he was like on adrenaline,
almost
or
like everybody was saying it's kind of a wild child horse, like just really intense and high strung and
the black sheep of the
hyper and
group.
stuff.
Damn. Yeah, no, I mean,
But yeah, so I mean the Kentucky Derby. I mean, if you get a chance to go see the Kentucky Derby or any of these horse races at any of these legacy ancient parks that have been around since the 1800s, it's worth the experience. I mean, like I said, I didn't get to go to the Kentucky Derby Saturday, but I was there Thursday, and much smaller audience, but everybody's dressed up and wearing their hats, and it's a cool vibe, man. It really is a cool vibe. And I know, like, Christ, I think Saturday they were showing some of the, like, our President Trump was there.
Okay.
I know the Nelk Boys were there.
Oh, did they go?
Yeah,
I saw like Drake, Jack Harlow went as well.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like the thing to do. It's crazy though. So we had a corporate box. So I think we had 20 people, and it's just like, if you've ever been at a box at any of the local sporting stadiums, right? It's
like the Flyers game.
Yeah, you have like a little sitting area with a bar, and a wet bar, and we had an attendant, and you basically just can get any mixed drinks, and then there was an open buffet, and it's air conditioned room, and then you can go out and sit on a balcony and see the event, and so on Thursday that box for like 20 people cost us like 10 grand. That
on
same
the company card?
Exact box on Saturday for the actual Kentucky Derby was $250,000. So you can see the price of real estate really increases depending on how close you got to Derby Day. So
what the hell is that about? Like, why is it? I know, like,
so I got to experience it on a budget.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, like, I know there's a lot of money behind it, and you were watching the F1 race, and I know there's a lot of money behind that.
Oh yeah, so. Someone told me that was like just to get in as just a walk-in.
Miami, right?
Like no special boxes or anything was like $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. Why would I do that? Like that sounds like such like a waste of money, unless someone's paying for it.
I mean, if you're in the motor racing, right, it's kind of a bucket list thing, right?
I guess, yeah. I can see that. If you're into cars and everything, I could justify.
Plus, I mean, you got to take into consideration the audience, right? So horse racing is the sport of kings, and if you look at the clientele who shows up for a horse racing, you realize that money's not necessarily an object for a lot of these people.
So it's like a network. It's like a networking event.
Yeah, and F1 is very similar, right? F1 is kind of the, when it comes to motor racing, it's the king of motor racing, and it tends to attract an audience that has buku bucks, and so $3,000 is probably a drop in the hat. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I heard them cars are really expensive. Like some could even be like over $1 million for some of those cars. Like I think it was Red Bull or something.
Oh, you mean a Formula One car? No, those are tens of millions of dollars.
Tens of millions.
Shit, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, when they bust parts, the parts alone are, hundreds of thousands. Everything's carbon fiber or titanium or, there are tens of millions of dollars for those cars. The sponsorships alone, like I would imagine, like Ferrari and Red Bull, the main sponsors on those sponsorships are probably hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
That's absolutely insane, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's all. I mean, let's face facts. I mean, like, I wouldn't have gone if it was just me paying the dime, right? It's all corporate money. It's all, it's all about corporate.
So how do you justify going to something like that? Like from like a corporate standpoint, like, hey, we're going here just to have like a meeting and talk business or talk shop. Or
so I mean, it's really it's a bonding thing with your good customers, right? So it's kind of hard to say there's a direct ROI. All you're doing is just kind of you're establishing or reinforcing a relationship, right? So if you have a customer who is really good and comes back and buys a lot of your products or sells a lot of your products, in the case of partners or resellers, you're basically just bringing them in as a show of appreciation. So it's really an appreciation event. So
like
I mean,
assurance or reassurance.
Directly, it is oftentimes very, very difficult to say, look, I just spent whatever it is, $10,000 or $250,000, and what's the return, right? And it's tough. I mean, Saturday, it could be like General Motors or Ford who buys that box and then invites 20 of their biggest car dealers there.
Okay, I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
So I mean, they're not selling something directly there as a result, but it's just building a bond and a relationship so that when that person thinks about, hey, I gotta sell or I gotta buy something, I'm going to go back to those guys who treated me really well. So
I got what you're saying.
It's an appreciation / networking.
I've seen that before with Louis Vuitton or any of the designer stores. Like if you buy so much of their product, they'll invite you to the back room or go in on a closed day and give you champagne and, treat you like that just because you're spending money with that.
I'm sure if you
franchise.
spend enough, right, they probably fly you over to Paris Week or Fashion Week in Paris and let you sit, maybe not front row, but right behind the Kardashians. And because they know you're going to spend
even more money with them in the future.
Whatever it is, you spend, 7 figures a year on clothes.
Yeah, that's absolutely mad.
So, that's really what that is all about. Most of these big, kind of bucket list sporting events they're corporate driven. There's not very few of the masses get in anymore, or if they do, they're sitting in the nosebleed seats. And it's funny because, I would imagine if you just kind of showed up, you wouldn't even see the race. I don't even, because it's not a very big place. And
no.
They supposedly had like 150,000 people, 130,000 people on site.
Yeah,
like, wow.
That's like the thing with the F1. Going back to that is like you just see it for like a second, and then like they drive by.
But as someone who's attended not an F1 race, but IndyCar and NASCAR, you like on TV, you have no appreciation for how fast
they're going.
Those guys are going.
I bet.
You just, I can sit there and tell you, and it doesn't sink in until you see it in person, and you have no idea how fast those guys are going. And when you see these guys crash and then walk away, you have to be just like, how in the hell?
I've seen some
happen?
crazy crashes with them F1 cars. Like the guy, he like flipped, it was like all in flames, and he walks out, and he's like,
Yeah, but the TV slow. I hate to say it, but TV slows it down. It's one of those things. If you've been there, you're like, you have a whole different appreciation for these guys, and it is just insane how fast they're going.
So on the next podcast, we're going to be at an F1 race on the Exclusive Minds budget.
But even if you stick it in, even if you stick it like a camera on the hood, it just
right.
You have to see
I
it.
bet, and probably like the rumbling of the engine shaking everything as it drives by. Yeah, I bet that's probably crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I bet that's madness. Which brings us to our next transition. Doctor Strange into the multiverse of madness.
I wanted to hear about this because you told me you fell asleep, which
so
isn't a good sign, right?
So we ended up going to the 1040 showing of the new Doctor Strange, and kind of to wrap this up and not really spend too much time on it because it's really uneventful. We ended up going to the 1040 showing. The movie starts around 11 o'clock, and honestly, I don't like talking shit on movies because I really do appreciate the cinematic part of it. I do appreciate the CGI part of it. It just wasn't my thing. And I've loved the first one. Like the first Doctor Strange was fantastic. And it's not me getting older because I loved Batman that just came out. I liked Spider-Man that just came out. And it just seemed like it was lacking a plot. And it was like kind of such the cliche. Like I'm not going to spoil anything or anything like that, but it was just like such cliche in the way that, oh, that's the person that had this. All right, I'm going to go take that from that person type deal. It was just like so cliche, right?
Yep.
And the plot was kind of all over the place. There was so many moving parts that it just didn't seem like to have that draw. And like an hour, the movie was like 2 hours and some minutes, and like an hour and like 15 to an hour 30 in, which I stayed like halfway awake through it. I just fell asleep, and I never did that before. I fell asleep through an entire movie and woke up to the sound of people clapping and the end credits of the lights coming on. So I can't really give my review on it. I'm going to go back for a second screening of it, I think. But let me tell you.
It's not a good sign when you fall asleep in a movie.
And I wanted to give it a try because I heard things about it going in, but it didn't have the... what do you call that? Like the stick factor to make me keep watching it. So
I don't know if I want to get into this because it borders on that whole political side of things.
Go for it.
But
why not?
So this character,
America
Chavez or Chavez America.
That's the main antagonist. Or no,
So, but is it like a 14-year-old girl? And
so
I can't tell if it's the media
bro. So listen, I already like that whole thing. I don't know how old she is. For one, she could be 14. I just think they're trying to find some shit to, excuse my language, to like pull upon. If she is 14 and if she is what people say she is, let it rock.
So I mean,
Why not?
but was it portrayed in the movie that way, or I mean, were they pushing that as an agenda, or
so what I was awake for? So what I was awake for was she had spoiler. Just skip forward like 30 seconds of the podcast. Basically, her parents were lesbian, I guess.
Okay,
and that was it. Her parents were lesbian, and they got sucked into a portal, and then that was it. She just said my two moms. That was the only thing that it was.
Oh, okay.
But that was for what I was awake for. I don't know if the character. I don't know anything. Right.
Okay.
So
I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna. I'll wait to see it or whatever before I pass judgment. But I just know that was like a big. It wasn't.
Yeah,
so look, I
mean, the way I look at it is, if she was, what's the problem, right?
Look, and I so here's my take, and I haven't seen the movie, so here I am shooting my mouth off, and I really don't know, which isn't fair. But my when I was reading some of the stuff online, right, and that's always a terrible source, I think, for shit. But I was like
50-50.
It's not that I care. I mean, who cares, right? I just don't understand why. Like I don't, in a movie like that, right? I don't know if whether you're straight, gay, lesbian, whatever, should be just part of. Right. I mean, stop pushing the agenda. I don't care if don't push that she's straight. I don't. I don't care.
Like, no, it wasn't even that they said it. She was just like, oh, and my two moms.
Yeah.
So
okay.
like,
so it's look, enough. I don't.
But I mean, like that's kind of the thing for anything. Like, if you wanted to look at, like, for example, I play a game, Apex, right? A lot of the characters in there are on the scale of LGBTQ. I think it's
IA plus.
Is it IA? It might be.
It is. IA plus. And you know what's really funny is, so I probably shouldn't even be getting into this because this is how you get yourself in trouble.
This is Joseph Babiak talking.
No. So it was funny. So we had an internal call so at our company, right? So we had an internal call, and one of the presentations was from the look. I think it's the rainbow. It's whatever it is. It's
a part of that association. I can imagine.
Right. So the guy who's giving the presentation actually goes and explains what each of the letters stands for, and he gets to the I and the T, and the I think is Indian, and T is transcendental, which is, I guess you just believe in spirits or blinky lights or I don't know. And then I forget what the plus was. Plus was, God, it was funny. And he actually at the end goes, and even our community's kind of
confused,
getting a little bit, or recognizes that this is starting to get a little out of control. Or I forget how he said it. He tried to be kind of correct about it, but he goes, look, we understand there's a challenge in sort of understanding what all of this means.
I always thought so.
But he actually went through the list, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's a lot. And I guess to wrap it up to what you said is, do your thing. Whatever it is, like, rock out, right? I mean, as long as you're not pushing that agenda onto other people and making that other person feel bad about not knowing something, rock out.
Yeah.
I always thought the plus was just like, and expanding, like, just like in other groups that we might have not missed in that whole acronym.
It might be. I forget, but it was. I mean, I just remember the Indian and the. It was like, it was just, I was like, oh my God.
But I don't know. I think you're always going to find media. I mean, media is slow nowadays. So
all right, let's transition off of this because, I mean,
right.
It'll just take us, we'll just take a whole.
But moral of the story, it was mid. Moral of the story, not Spider-Man, Doctor Strange was mid. So there it is.
What's mid stand for?
Like average.
Okay.
Yeah, like mid.
I don't know all the acronyms.
The acronyms.
So let's. So did you see that? Did you see that Bitcoin broke the 38K barrier in the wrong direction?
So
it's down to 34.
Yeah, I don't even know where you're going with this, but I kind of expected this. I mean, with everything in that field, I kind of expected it to nuke. And it's going to go back up, and that's just the cycle. So,
and we are not financial advisors.
We are not financial advisors.
We're not financial advisors because we bought this shit when it was
at the
higher.
peak. Yeah. So
here's my favorite.
Yeah,
Decentraland is $1.36.
So now would be the time to buy.
And for the record, I bought in at $3.50-something.
So you're down over half now.
Down like 66%. And this is, when did we do that? We started this podcast in November, and we didn't get around to that until
December.
Like December or January.
Yeah.
So like in the span of 3 months, I've lost 66% of my money.
Yeah.
Yes, I love crypto.
I mean, good thing we're not
Holy
moving.
shit.
We're not whales or anything moving significant amounts. Maybe it was Elon Musk type for money nowadays because he just spent $46 billion on
44 billion on Twitter.
So you never know why that is. But I kind of predicted it to go down before it went up. I think just with everything, you're never going to be able to time when things go up. You just kind of have to periodically buy and forget, periodically buy and forget. I mean, that's kind of like the theme of the show, but it did crash. And it crashed hard, and all the altcoins are down. So
yeah, man, it's ugly.
it's definitely ugly, dude. I mean,
Ethereum's 2,500. Didn't you buy in at like 3,700 or something like that?
I bought in around 3,000, and then it went up to 3,700, and I should have sold, but I just roughed it out, and I still haven't sold.
Yeah, well, you're in it for the long hauls. You just said so.
Exactly. I mean, we're gonna see where all these things go. I mean, we were thinking quickly about back to our website. We were gonna all right, we should take maybe crypto on the website, and the problem with that is paying gas. So if you're gonna buy a $20 T-shirt, and let's say crypto's expensive for the day with the gas prices, which are just transaction fees, you're paying $20 for a T-shirt, and then gas might be $20. At a high, yeah, exactly. So you're now paying $40 for that.
Well, I should have done some homework before this, but I was reading about the Bored Apes, that last thing they just did that you were talking about, and someone, unless I was reading this wrong, they made like as much on gas fees as they did on the actual NFT. Like it was $100 and something million in gas fees.
Yes. So,
and I was like,
I think so.
How do they get away with this shit?
So was it them that got the money from the gas fees? I think it's Ethereum, right?
I don't know, man. The way they were the way it was reading to me, the Bored Ape, whoever that Yugi Labs made the money on the gas fees. And I'm like, holy shit.
A lot of what my friends in this space, like Marcus and so on, they said to me that they did this to expose Ethereum for what it is, meaning you're buying a plot of virtual land for $200,000, but you're paying $100,000
for the privilege of doing it.
Just the privilege of doing it and just being able to transaction that fee. So he's saying what their whole thing behind that is they're slowly gonna either.
So how are they proving anything by having people just spend an extra $100 and something million?
They're proving the impracticality of it. Of like, this is not long lasting, and we're going to do something that makes it even better for next time. So everyone's going to go to our platform so they don't have to pay those fees. So they're going to
it seems like a very expensive way for
it's an expensive
the industry or the consumer to be part of.
Well, I mean,
it's like, we're going to teach everybody a lesson by making you all get effed over by spending all this money on gas fees.
And that's just a theory. I'll clarify that. We're not financial advisors. We're not that. But I could see why they would do that. I mean,
seriously though, I mean, this is just, I mean, it does. I mean, it exposes how effed up this whole market is. I mean, so anybody who doesn't understand what we're talking about, it's basically like us dropping clothes. So, all right, we drop, I don't know, 1,000 hoodies, right? Sure. And it's a limited edition hoodie that's got an NFT attached to it, or just a hoodie, right? But when we say we're going to sell it for $100, but when you as a consumer buy it, right? You not only have to pay the $100 for the hoodie, but then the credit card company charges you $100 to buy it. Yeah. So you end up spending $200 for that $100 sweatshirt.
Exactly. And that's the point where we're at now, because we would love to accept crypto and we'd love to be forward thinking into this Web3.
Right, but by the time it actually got to us, it'd be stepped on so many times that you'd end up paying. Like I said, you'd pay $175 for that $100 hoodie.
Exactly. So we're this is stuff that's exactly, right?
That's fucking crazy. So, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy shit.
In order to kind of go around that, there's a lot of altcoins that kind of provide that same service that Ethereum does. Ethereum is just that blue chip, like the gold standard of what I guess Web3 is, I guess you could say. But a lot of these other coins don't have as high gas fees like Mana that we talked about. But the only problem with Mana is, what did you say? What did you buy in at?
$350 something.
And what is it at now?
$130.
Exactly.
Something.
So it's extremely volatile. Imagine you buy a hoodie for $100, and then on our end,
in the case of Mana, and I think a lot of the altcoins, right? The other issue is that they're kind of they're designed for a specific niche.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So I mean, Mana is Decentraland, Sandbox or whatever is, I forget what the hell theirs is, but all these there's a whole shitload of altcoins. But if you actually look at them, they're typically tied to some very niche or specific silo or platform. And so it's not like I think Ethereum and Bitcoin are kind of the universals.
Exactly.
But everything
right.
else is sort of.
And with those is that extremely high gas fee. They're coming out with talks of Ethereum 2, which is going to kind of change that game for a lot of players. Which is we're going to be charging less in gas fees. It's going to be the future. A lot of people
I mean, if you ask me, the bottom line is if you are messing around in crypto. Man, just be careful and understand what it is you're doing.
Budget yourself.
Just effed up, man.
Don't put all your chips in one basket. I
have no doubt you can probably make money. It's just like everything, but you need to understand it in and out. Because if you don't, and you just dump money in, you're going to lose. Trust me.
No, for sure. I mean, that's a great way to put it. Absolutely.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. No, I mean that's spot on. I mean, I would love to do it one day because we don't want to be those people that are, oh, what is this .com thing? We don't want to be those people that are kind of going against it. But until it makes sense, right?
The other thing that I was going to ask you about, we talked long ago about the .eth domains, whatever. Is that kind of exploded or?
Yes, it has. So
I don't see any talk of that at all. Or...
Yeah. So actually, recently, I don't know if they're all gone or if
they're not all gone.
No. Like, sorry, to preface that, I meant to say like if the 4-letter ones are all gone or not. So like all like the A, B, C, D, like right, all the 4-letter names are like taken up or they're whatever, but they're going for a crazy amount of money.
Well,
right now.
Again, so I know from a fact because when I looked for exclusive minds, right, we could get ours, but it was the same thing. It was the gas fees were awful.
Yes.
And the other thing is if you go to OpenSea, it's all speculation, man. It's like these hoarders basically just taking all the names and trying to flip them for a premium. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of the thing with any new application. People are going to be looking for
chasing the quick buck by
exactly.
Yeah.
Going for Apple.eth.
I mean, the problem is,
whatever,
that's the mentality that pretty much ruins it instantly, right? I mean,
saturation, right?
No, I mean, the speculation kind of cripples the economy and just the whole platform because, all the normal people are just going to be the people that would actually use it or make, value of it or kind of extend it and turn it into something that's more meaningful are kind of locked out because the speculators have all jumped in and, anything that's even remotely related to any big brand has probably already been gobbled up and they're asking some stupid money that is just,
I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
Capitalism's great and capitalism at the same time can really suck sometimes.
No, absolutely. And on top of that, I mean, we might not even be going towards that future. We might be going towards the future of Mr. Musk's Neuralink where you could just think to yourself, hey, I'm going to send you money, and then money just appears in your account. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's probably not too far off.
So, you might not even need a .eth address or a .xyz address to receive money. You might just need to tell, like, think about
now,
it.
Right? You carry your phone. I mean,
I mean,
they
have
your brain,
those,
but your phone, and you can Venmo or...
What's those chips that, it's like those little circle sticker things that you put on the back of your phone, and you could, like, tap it to something. And then NFC chips, right? I mean, that could be the future too. I mean, I feel like those are.
Yep.
So you never know what it is, man. I mean, we're just betting on the future and the future of Web3.
Crazy.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Crazy. So we're what are we at? 48 minutes. I don't know if you got anything else or we talked about stopping at 45 and now
now we're going longer. I mean, it's weird, man.
Like I said, it all depends on what we're talking about. And this one kind of flew by because we, settled into a couple topics versus just
right. Absolutely. No, I mean, I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day, and then there is still some time if Joe's a rock star with getting this stuff edited. So if you hear this Sunday or Monday,
get it up tonight, and I'll send out the typical email and
for the comfiest sweatpants around.
They're nice, man. They really are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So act and just. If you want hoodies and you got snaked, just shoot us an email and we'll see what we can do for you. Yeah, I don't.
No, I think that's about it, man.
No Elon Musk talk. What the hell's he been up to? It's been kind of quiet. Right?
It's been quiet. I mean, so is Kanye West. So I don't know.
I mean,
you got the 450s.
Yeah,
you got the 450s. Man.
I did. I scored the. What's really scary is I called them the tan 450s, and I look at it and I'm like, it says green, and I'm like,
oh shit.
What the hell, man? And I'm looking at it and I say, these are tan.
Yeah, well.
So it'll be interesting when they show up if I actually got a pair of green ones and I was like, wait, time out. I'll still take them because I love the 450s.
Yeah, you do.
That's
love
the best
You
shoe
were
on
a
the
big
planet.
advocate on those ones. I mean, even when they first came out, I remember
love the 450s.
You were rocking with them.
Oh, my God.
They're like shark shoes.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. They're kind of like socks. Like overdone socks. But, I mean, they are super comfortable. Super sweet, and I had the blacks, and I've been dying to get a pair of the lighter ones for the summer, and scored the 450. So they're en route, and when I get them, we'll probably talk about those for a few minutes, and then I think with this purchase, I actually made it back to being in the top tier of Adidas's program.
Oh, so now I'm gonna have to hit you up to give me some shoes, bud.
Yeah, I don't know if that really helps, but supposedly it moves me up the list. I think for lotteries and stuff. I think. But
all right. Well, if that's the case, you're gonna be expecting more text messages from me, bud.
Which just means I spend stupid amount of money on freaking shoes. It's not really a lot, actually.
It's not bad.
It's like, what is it, 12,000 points, which is $1,200.
I mean, that's kind awful. That's kind of a lot of money.
I don't think that's it, because I don't think I've spent that much money on shoes.
No, you definitely getting close to it. Because we're here.
And, $200 a pop. These freaking things are not cheap.
From where I'm sitting, I could see $5.
Well, that's 2 years. It's 2 years worth. It's been going on for 2 years.
This guy.
Anyway, yes, it appears that I have a Yeezy problem.
Yeah, I think Joe got some insider trade about the Elon Musk buying Twitter deal, and he.
I got some props though. I was wearing my 350, my black 350s again out, and a couple people noticed. So
and they're like, "Did you listen to the album?"
Yeah, double barrel middle finger for those watching on video, even though there is no video yet.
Dope.
I've listened to Yee's music.
Yee. Hey, there you go.
Yee.
All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed. We'll stop the rambling now.
All right. We're going to get out because we got to jump on Putin's confiscated $700 million yacht that's waiting for us in Italy.
Yeah, sure. Why not? All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Later. Peace out.
Yeah. Let me drop exclusive game from my exclusive mind. You be out here chasing fame, I stay steady on my grind. 0 diamonds, 0 chains, from my brain is where I shine. Hit you with them good lyrics, I ain't writing and I'm dying. And right now I'm alive, so check it. I reckon I shouldn't cuss on this record. I don't cuss on them often because I'm applying pressure. Grab that fire grind. 0 diamonds, 0 chains, from my brain is where I shine. Hit you with them good lyrics, I ain't writing and I'm dying. And right now I'm alive, so check it. I reckon I shouldn't cuss on this record. I don't cuss on them often because I'm applying pressure. Grab that fire from my dresser. EXM, who does it better? No, I won't let up. Gas pedal fully pressed, I do the dash to the checks. If it ain't assets, I'm never stressed. I keep it calm and collect. Most of y'all stuck in some debt, and you got bad credit. I learned my lesson, I was young and foolish, now I'm better. I kept my head up through the stormiest weather. Wipe my eyes and focused on where I'm headed. We call that constant progression. If we in Vegas and the option is betting on me, you know we cashing out to the teller. Now let me switch my endeavor, change up my whole approach. Let's have a toast to those who do the most. Achieving goals on the road to their dreams, on the path to the cream, counting stacks with their team, living lavishly, but still actively aware that they can be a casualty, so they don't lack humility and they don't dabble with degree. Yes, they focused on the plan ahead. They know impact will lead to bread, and the bread equals success and less frets. Got some things to accomplish. When someone hits my line, it's not about some nonsense. We making moves, always grinding, we popping. You know we not gonna stop, and never no option but time, and the perfect time is right now. Not caught up in tomorrow. I'm all about making a conscious decision while I'm living. Make a choice, then I'm committed to that vision. I pivot if necessary. It's scary when you get caught in a position that isn't hitting you down bad because you're persistent in the wrong direction. Just learn your lesson, you gotta check it. Audit you and keep on getting better. That's the motive, that's the method. And I'm headed further than I ever thought I could make it. I wouldn't stop unless my pulse flat lines like the doctor lost his patience.